Good evening, friends. We continue our reading of First Samuel tonight as we begin our evening prayers tonight. Thank you for joining us. Please to take a moment to post a greeting, share a comment, and let us know that you are here with us. So let's start as we always do by taking a look at the big picture here. Remember, First Samuel and Second Samuel are historically, anciently, one book. Wrong button. There we go. First Samuel and Second Samuel. First Samuel is in two parts. We're nearing the end of the first part tonight. We'll get there. We'll complete the first part, actually. The first 7 chapters are really the story of Samuel, the prophet. And then the second section, we're introduced to the character that is Saul of Benjamin, who will become the first king of Israel. Samuel's story overlaps into Saul's story, but really by the beginning of chapter 8, the focus is becoming more and more on Saul and less on Samuel. In spite of the fact that by that point we've only read 7 chapters of the 55 chapters that are the books of Samuel. Good evening, Mom. So let's take a look at the reading windows. Get ready to start reading. That's not the one. That's the one I want. I'll be reading from the left-hand column, which is a Jewish Bible, specifically the Complete Jewish Bible. The right-hand column, you see the text as found in a Christian Bible, the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition, which I'll be using mainly, chiefly, in order to bring into our Christian biblical awareness, language awareness, those things that are different in Jewish biblical language. And I'll point those out as we read. Get our timer here. Get that all set up. After this live, we will pray evening prayers tonight, friends. So please keep in mind when this live closes, there will be one more tonight. Almost immediately thereafter this one. Good evening, Linda. We're resuming at chapter 7, verse 15. So, friends, one last thing before we pick up our reading is we need to scroll down to verse 15. And you see, we really are very close to chapter 8 and the beginning of the next section, which is the story of Saul, the Benjaminite. Shmuel, that's Samuel. Let's read. Shmuel continued in office as judge of Israel as long as he lived. Year by year, he would travel in a circuit that included Bethel, Gilgal, and Mitzpah. Only difference is the T. And in all these places, he served as judge over Israel. Then he would return to Ramah, because that's where his home was. And he would judge Israel there too. He also built an altar there to Adonai. Remember, that's the generic way of making reference to God in Jewish biblical tradition without using the sacred name of God, considered so holy as to be spoken only by God. Chapter 8. When Shmuel grew old, he appointed his sons as judges over Israel. His firstborn was named Joel, while his second son was named Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba. However, his sons did not follow his way of life. They turned off it to pursue riches, so that they would take bribes to distort justice. Interesting parallel, isn't there? Remember the beginning of Samuel's life with Eli the priest? In many ways, Eli and Samuel have similar experiences as fathers of sons. Interesting. All the leaders of Israel gathered themselves together and approached Shmuel in Ramah and said to him, "Look, you have grown old, and your sons are not following your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." Shmuel was not pleased to hear them say, "Give us a king to judge us." So he prayed to Adonai. Adonai said to Shmuel, "Listen to the people, to everything they say to you. For it is not you they are rejecting me. They don't want me to be king over them. They are doing to you exactly what they have been doing to me from the day I brought them out of Egypt until today, by abandoning me and serving other gods. So do what they say, but give them a sober warning, telling them what kinds of rulings their king will make." Shmuel reported everything Adonai had said to the people, asking him for a king. He said, "Here is the kind of rulings your king will make. He will draft your sons and assign them to take care of his chariots, be his horsemen, and be bodyguards, running ahead of his chariots. He will appoint them to serve him as officers in charge of 1,000 or of 50, plowing his fields, gathering his harvest, and making his weapons and the equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters and have them be perfume makers, cooks, and bakers. He will expropriate your fields, vineyards, and olive groves, the very best of them, and hand them over to his servants. He will take your male and female servants, your best young men, and your donkeys, and make them work for him. He will take the 10% tax of your flocks, and you will become his servants. When this happens, you will cry out on account of your king, whom you yourselves chose. But when that happens, Adonai will not answer you." However, the people refused to listen to what Shmuel told them. And they said, "No, We want a king over us so that we can be like all the nations, with our king to judge us, lead us, and fight our battles. Shmuel heard everything the people said and repeated them for Adonai to hear. Adonai said to Shmuel, "Do what they ask and set up a king for them." So Shmuel told the men of Israel, "Each of you return to his city." There was a man from Benjamin, named Kish, the son of Aviel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphia, the son of a man from Benjamin. He was a man of substance and brave as well. He had a son named Saul, who was young and good looking. Among the people of Israel, there was no one better looking than he. He stood head and shoulders taller than anyone else in Israel. Once the donkeys belonging to Kish, Saul's father, got lost. Kish said to his son Shaul, "Please take one of the servants with you. Go out and look for the donkeys." He went through the hills of Ephraim, and the territory of Shalisha, but they didn't find them. Then they went through the territory of Shalem, but they weren't there. They went through the territory of Benjamin, but didn't find them there either. On reaching the territory of Zuph, Shaul said to his servant with him, "Come, let's go back, otherwise my father will stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us." His servant replied, "Here now, there's a man of God in this city, a man who is highly respected, and everything he says proves true. Let's go to him. Maybe he can tell us something about where we should go." "But look," Shaul said to his servant, "if we go to the man, what can we bring? We've used up all the bread in our packs, and there's nothing for us to give the man of God. What do we have left?" The servant replied again to Shaul, "See, I have here in my hand a silver quarter shekel, 1/10 of an ounce. I will give it to the man of God to tell us which way to go." In Israel, back in the old days, when someone went to consult God, he would say, "Come, let's go to the seer," because a person now called a prophet used to be called a seer. "Well said," Shaul answered his servant. Come on, let's go." So they went to the city where the man of God was. Friends, that's where we're going to pause. And next time that we pick up 1 Samuel, we'll resume our reading right there at verse 11 of chapter 9. Evening prayers in a moment, in a separate live. Good evening, Francis.